All right, I want to do a little video on comparing and ordering fractions. And we're going to use, when we're comparing fractions, the comparison symbols, less than, greater than, and equal to. Remember, we're going to read from left to right. So this is less than because the point is pointing to the lower number, but it's also, the lower number is going to be on the left-hand side. That's basically what I'm saying. So we read it left to right, and I'll give you some examples. So for a fraction, let's say we have 2/3, and we're comparing that to 5/6. And we want to know, is 2/3 less than 5/6, greater than 5/6, or equal to 5/6? All right, so now if you're not really sure and you don't want to have to draw pictures for every single problem, what you could do is take these denominators and find a common denominator. So notice we have thirds and sixths. Now 3 goes into 6 evenly, so we can change this to 6 by multiplying both the numerator and denominator by 2. So this then becomes 4/6, and then we're going to leave the other fraction because it was already in sixths. Now it's much easier to compare because we're working with sixths for both parts. And then you're just going to focus on looking at the numerator. This numerator is 1 less than that numerator. So 4/6 is going to be less than 5/6. Let's try another 3/7, and we want to compare with that 1/5. Again, it might not be obvious which is larger or smaller. So we're going to find a common denominator. Now in this case, 5 and 7, 5 doesn't go into 7, but if we think of the multiples of 5 and 7, they both go into 35. So I'm going to multiply the 3 and the 7 by 5, and that's going to give me 15/35. And because 5 goes into 35 7 times, I'm going to multiply the 1 by 7. So 7/35. Clearly 15/35 is larger than 7/35, so we'll put a large or greater than symbol. And then just to give you an example, for equal to, you might have something like 5/7, and we're comparing that to 15/21. Okay, now 7 goes into 21 3 times, so 5 times 3 is 15. So you got 15/21, comparing that to 15/21. Because they both have the same value, the symbol would be equal to. Now, let's move on to the part about ordering fractions, and we're basically going to follow kind of the structure of what we've been doing. When we have uncommon denominators and we're comparing the numbers, we're going to find a common denominator. Or I should specify lowest common denominator. Let's say we have 1/2, 1/3, 5/6, and 3/4. Okay, now what do you think the lowest common denominator is? Well, if you thought of 12, you're correct. 2 goes into 12 6 times, 3 goes into 12 4 times, 6 goes into 12 twice, and 4 goes into 12 3 times. So what you want to do is convert all of these fractions into 12ths. So I'm just going to rewrite that. And the last one is 9/12. Okay, now we're almost done because what we want to do is order those fractions from least to greatest. So least to greatest. Okay. Now we're not going to. So you might have an inclination to just order these numbers, like say 4/12 and then write 4/12. What I want you to do is write down the original fraction on your assignment or on your quiz. So you can see all we're doing is comparing the numerators now because now the denominators are the same. So 4/12 is the smallest, and that's really the 1/3. The next, and I'll go ahead and cross that off. The next would be the 6/12 or 1/2. Whoops. Let me change that. Then we would have the 9/12 or the 3/4. And then the last one would be 5/6. Okay? So you'll have some problems like this either on the homework and or a quiz.